And so this one I'm just overly excited about. How's it going today, guys? Super excited for today's episode. Could I say you look fantastic today? Thank you so much for joining me. I am covering a topic that is really probably the reason I got into NFTs and cryptocurrencies, the gamification online games that have NFTs. And this is super cool because this is basically a way for me to play a game and then make money on that. And looking at the video game industry, it's a $160 billion industry, at least back in 2020. And when we're looking at the metaverse, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, they're all going to be estimating this thing to be a $8 trillion investment industry, however you want to think of it. So we got Facebook, they're gunning for the throne. We got a bunch of other people that are trying to get into this space. But looking at the first apps and the first things that are really developing and coming in are where I'm focusing and trying to get my foot in the door to these new projects. So the first one that I'm going to be covering on today's episode is something called DeFi Land. And that is something that I cover in a couple of my other episodes, but I'd be remiss if I didn't cover it in today's episode on online games. They are actually putting out some really cool updates. I was super lucky to be part of the whitelist. I got selected as one of 4,000 individuals that were able to hold on to and basically get allocated 2 seeds, their NFT that's just dropping, which allows me to do some cool stuff. So really excited about that. I'm also going to be covering some online games. This first portfolio that I'm going to be going over after DeFi Land is one called Gala Games, and that's one that I'll have 2 different games that I'm highlighting. One is called Spider Tanks. It just looks really cool, has some cool gameplay. And then the other one that I've been actually falling in love with ever since I've been researching it for this video is Townstar, and it has some really cool gaming aspects. It's got more focus on the game itself, but it does have some cryptocurrency and NFT elements to it too, so it integrates all that. In the last part of the video, I'm going to be covering something called Axi Infinity, and this is going to be the #1 NFT game, at least from my understanding, that is out right now. They're coming out with some really cool updates, kind of like a Pokemon style meets Harvest Moon, neat little interface battles and stuff like that that you can do, and I'll be getting into those. But if you love what you see on today's episode, make sure you hit me up every single week, hit that bell, subscribe. You'll see weekly episodes on things like technology, investing, cryptocurrencies, NFTs. I'll try to get into anything you guys would like me to. Hit me up with some comments if you'd like to see more, or leave me with some questions on things that you didn't understand in today's episode. So let's dive right in and check out what we can find in NFTs in online games. So the first thing that I'll be going into is DeFi Land. And so this one I'm just overly excited about. It's one that I've actually been following for a while if you check out some of my other videos, and they're just updating and adding customizations and adding all kinds of things to this platform, and they just had their biggest release yet. Actually just this morning, and it sold out in about a minute. They had their NFT drop, which ends up being this seed. You plant it, and for the next 30 days, you water it with their DFL coin. Right now, it's only 6 cents per coin. And as you water it, the more you water it, the more you can get out of that seed. You're guaranteed 1 NFT. It could be a harvester. It could be a cute animal. It could be a fishing pole. It could be a hunting rifle. And these types of things are ending up as gamification, play-to-earn aspects of the game. So what ends up happening is you get something like a fishing rod, and you're able to then fish, which generates from that what's called a Gen 0 fishing rod, that first NFT, Gen 1, new NFTs that you're essentially creating NFTs, these fish, that you'll be able to sell into their ecosystem. So it ends up generating an income, and holding these really already feels valuable because I actually got in on a whitelist. I was able to purchase 2 before everybody else on the public market was able to access the NFTs, and they sold out in less than a minute. I don't think I could have clicked fast enough to be able to actually get one, so I feel super lucky to be able to have 2. I'll be following some of the updates and how I use that seed on my channel, so keep up to date with how I'm developing and how I'm using that. But it really is just a cool project, and one that I love the team for. They do weekly AMAs, Ask Me Anythings, where you can pop into their Discord and hear from them. ask them literally anything. It is in the name. You can say what you want to hear from them and in the future of the game, or ask them about their personal life, and this guy will literally answer anything. He is the man. And he's also giving out prizes all the time, especially leading up to this event. So I was able to win 100 coins, the DFL coin that he sent right over to me. It was a super easy process, and it's pretty fun. So you listen, you hear some cool, exciting updates, and you get paid out, you get chances to win. And they're even giving free NFTs in some of them. So some people want some pretty cool stuff in some of these AMAs that I've been in. So love the project. To get into it, all you really have to do is create a Phantom wallet, and that is one that's really free and easy to do. You load it with a little bit of Solana, which is a coin that I've talked about in some of my other videos, but it's the tier 1, the layer 1 coin that you're going to be building everything else on top of. So it's the baseline blockchain that we're going to be referencing when we're ever using DeFi Land. And this is one that as you get an account with Phantom, you then get an account with DeFi Land, and you can start loading it up. You're able to add different farms. There's liquid pairs of these different types of coins that are giving out different payout percentages. Looking at a farmer's board, you're able to reference which one has the highest payout, and then you can plant whichever one makes the most sense. Right now, there's these little mini games that you can play, and those will have these NFTs that are coming out backed against them. So some of them are hunting. The fishing game you'll see there is going to be backed and gamified with the NFTs that we're getting from the seeds that dropped today. And so this is a really cool up-and-coming project. So excited to see and follow that community and be a part of it. And so I feel super lucky, and you guys can follow how I'm going to be continuing to watch that game, see what NFTs I get with that seed, probably in about a month or so. And then we'll see how that develops. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is a website called Gala Games. And this one, you got to be careful when you're looking it up. And this is something I learned, actually. There's a bunch of ways that they'll get you. I did a cryptocurrency scamming video. This is one I wish I added in. Typing into Google, you'll find people have the ads at the top. You got to watch out for scammers that are actually going to try to do what's called typo squatting and misspell the link so you click on the wrong one. The website often looks exactly like the original one. Gala Games has one like this. Be careful. Looking at the actual Gala Games, though, I found a ton of really cool games. The first two that jumped out at me was one called Spider Tanks and another one called Townstar. Spider Tanks looks like a really cool battle royale where you got a bunch of different style weapons and tanks. You have to buy each part of it. So it seems like a lot to get into. I'm trying to figure out a good entry point. I'm going to do some more research and see if there's a lower entry point or if it really is that expensive to get into. But you buy the body, you buy the weapon, and I think you buy the arena too. And then with that, you're able to battle others and own those parts. And there's some kind of gamification that they're adding in there. So it looks really neat. But it was a little bit hard to get into, so I looked and turned the page to something called Townstar, which is another game that's on that same website. And with Townstar, it's actually one where you're building in a competition that lasts in seasons. The season is something that would refresh. It's every so often. I think it's every 30 days. I think it was upgraded from every week. Somebody can clarify me on that, but basically you restart. On that restart day, there's a mad rush to this world map where everybody's trying to get close to the right resources, water maybe, and they want to get towards the city, so they have cheap gas fees. There is so much economics in this game. You could decide to build sugar and then build a cake farm and then start to build into refineries. People are basically covering different aspects of the game and trying to win out. And they're giving away some cryptocurrency and some free stuff to the people who are winning and are at the top slots in these seasons. So it's a really competitive game, but it's actually really fun to play. So it's one that I found that is more designed to enjoy the actual game itself and less about the cryptocurrency and giving payouts, which is a different style. And it's actually a really good one to give as an example. But it is one that seems to be building its way towards those NFTs. It seems like you can buy water tanks, you can buy aspects of the game that will normally, when you start the season, take you a while to get to, and thereby give yourself a head start, maybe allow you to get into those top slots and get some payouts. So it's a super cool game, and I'm hoping to see some more updates, and I'm going to be playing a little bit more. Definitely got addicted to it when I started. So the last project that I wanted to mention is really just the tip of the hat, but it does look really cool, so I'm probably going to be looking more into this. Axi Infinity. In my understanding, it's the #1 NFT gaming website platform in the world today. It has a ton of huge partners that are backing this website, so I'm going to see a lot of progress with it, but it is already getting some major updates. I checked out a video, which I'll leave the link for in my description, which seemed like a really good walkthrough on how this project is working out. It's got battles. You can own these different styles critters that, they're kind of like Pokemon, but they have different types like grass or beast. And with these, you're able to battle them. There's an interface where you can collect resources, you can trade resources. It's using a little bit of a weird wallet, Ronin, one that I hadn't particularly used before, so I'm going to be looking more into that. And another one that you also want to watch out, typo squatting, could be a really major thing because it's such a big website. And looking out for scams and things like that as well is always good. And check out my other video if you needed some additional tips on things to watch out for in cryptocurrency scams. Alright, so as you can see, this is really something that is blowing up. It's just the tip of the iceberg. This is something where, as the metaverse is valued at an $8 trillion industry, we're just going to see these things explode. And maybe I'm just overvaluing these types of assets, but I'm gonna have fun while I'm doing it too. So that's why I'm playing these online games. I'm enjoying myself along the way, trying not to invest too much, especially trying not to lose anything. But really, I'm not a financial advisor. You could watch me, you could comment and let me know what you'd like me to see. You could ask me questions on what I'm doing, but make sure you hit the subscribe button for weekly episodes to check out other stuff that I'm covering or other things on my channel that you might have saw that you want to see more about. Have a great day and happy investing.